can't help but be bullish.
Gary Black seems to be more bullish on Tesla stock after watching the Investor Day. Again, let's take a look.
Watching Tesla shares this morning down about 1% as the company cuts prices of the Model S and the Model X for the second time this year. Our next guest is buying some more after cutting back a day before the Investor Day. Tesla shareholder, future fund managing partner Gary Black joins us today. Gary, great to have you back.
Bro.
We haven't had a chance to discuss Investor Day and sort of that cloud of so-called disappointment that the market at least seemed to reflect. What did you think was at work then, and what do you make of the price cuts today?
I would say the more you watch the video on Investor Day, the more bullish you get. I think the market, it was definitely going to be a sell on the news event because the stock was up 100% in the 2 months before Investor Day.
Whoa, that's a very strong statement, with which I don't fully agree. If you look at Gary's fund, feature fund right here in green, you can see that Gary only sold about 10% of his Tesla stock. Now, Gary actually owns quite a bit more Tesla stock. This is just his ETF. But if Gary really believed in that statement 100% before March 1st, then he would have sold everything, all of his Tesla stock. So maybe Gary is just looking back, and in hindsight, yeah, definitely it was going to go down as long as Tesla does not announce anything groundbreaking, which there's always a possibility with Tesla that Tesla is going to announce something. And in fact, if you look at all of the events, you cannot say that about every single Tesla event. It varies. Although if you exclude shareholders' calls, then yes, it is more often that Tesla stock drops after the event, the day after the event.
So obviously some people taking profits. And I'd say it was just, long on aspiration, short on tangibility. And I think, there were a lot of people that were playing the stock that were waiting for a big unveil of something. We didn't expect an unveil because, as you remember with Model Y, you don't want to get too far in front of an unveil because then you get, as we call an Osborne effect on the existing products, right? Everybody's going to wait for the new product. They're not going to buy the existing product. So no, we didn't expect an unveil, but I guess some people did.
In every video before the Investor Day, I said that I'm keeping my expectations low, even though that was not easy to do. Especially after seeing this Twitter account sharing information from Tesla employees saying that Elon Musk will make one of the most significant Tesla announcements in many years at Investor Day on March 1st. There was no major announcement. There were teasers. Teasers, yes, but big announcements? No. We had a thorough explanation of the master plan 3, but no big major announcements. Here's how he justified himself. I don't really buy the explanation. Even this Twitter account admitted that this was the first official hint, not an announcement, a hint at the Tesla van. I would not consider explaining the master plan 3 an announcement, unless you consider the new drive unit cost update an announcement. It's a very good update and I really liked it, but I would not consider that a major announcement. It's an important update is what I would consider this, and this does change things. I would consider that as a teaser of the next generation vehicle, but not an announcement of the next generation vehicle. If you really put all the numbers together, then maybe you could say, okay, the indirect official announcement was there, but an announcement implies that it was made officially. This was very indirect. You had to put the pieces of a puzzle together.
I think the positives from Investor Day, and again, watch the 4-hour video, including Q&A, you can't help but be bullish. They reiterated a target of 20 million deliveries by 2030. That would be 24% share of the market. They'd be by far the biggest auto manufacturer if they get. Now that's aspirational, but they gave you a roadmap of how to think about, and this is the second point, how they could cut costs by 50%, which allows them to go into the mass market, which is about 50% of the market.
Yep, Gary is right. This is 2021 global revenue share of all autos addressable by MSRP. So this is global. This is not US only. If you look here, you will see that at price points that Tesla currently sells, their total addressable market is less than 10%. Crazy. And you look around here, where we would have about a $25,000 vehicle, or maybe a little bit less than that. And you can see that the total addressable market will increase by about 50%.
They took you through looking at powertrain cuts, battery cuts, general assembly cuts. They announced that day that they were going to open up a new plant in Nuevo Leon, Mexico, where the labor costs are cheap, and they could take full advantage of the $7,500 IRA credit, and they could export into Brazil and other Latin American countries where Mexico has tariff treaties.
However, keep in mind that they don't sell many cars in South America. Brazil only gets 2 million new car registrations per year compared to 15 million in the US. And cars sold to South America will not get the $7,500 EV tax credit that you can get in the US. So I think that Gigafactory in Mexico is going to serve the US market first, at least until we have these huge tax credits available to the US consumer and until Tesla really saturates the US market. Tesla is not really expanding much in South America. They are not expanding their presence there yet.
So I came away extremely bullish. I felt that, the breadth, one of the concerns I've always had is, it's an Elon Musk company, but you saw there must have been 15, 18 people up on the stage that gave you a lot of confidence that there was a really broad, in-depth management team if Elon were to ever disappear, not that he's going anywhere.
I certainly liked seeing the team, although there is one negative about that. Other companies that are looking to recruit talent now know exactly who to go to and who to lure away from Tesla. So there's a little bit of a downside here. But I certainly loved seeing the whole team.
Other positives, Cybertruck is coming this year. Cybertruck's going to be huge. There's 1.3 million pre-orders. I think the street next year for 2024 is about 90,000. If they actually get this thing launched this year, which I think the confidence level should be high now. If they could do even 200,000 deliveries next year with Cybertruck, that's worth about 40 cents a share. And then the whole energy side business, nobody pays attention to it. They have this new facility that came on the third quarter in Lathrop, California. They can do about 10,000 megapacks per year. These things sell. They just raised price over the weekend. Again, there's a 2-year backlog. If they could sell even 10,000 of those at, let's call it $2.5 million each, which is what they go for, that's worth about another 50 cents a share. And so that's $1 a share more than the street is putting into their models today. And that's why we're still pretty bullish on the stock. And that's why we bought when the market, punished it after Investor Day.
If you did not fall asleep during the Investor Day, you noticed that Tesla is basically telling us the energy storage business is going to explode. You can sort of extrapolate this line here and then come to conclusion by how much energy storage deployments are going to increase in 2023. And it seems like it's going to be a lot.
Well, if demand is so strong, why are they cutting prices for the second time? Wouldn't a company want to take advantage of their pricing power? Kathy Wood pushed back on me on this point as well and said they're doing it because they can, and they're trying to unlock the value and open up the size of the audience. But usually when companies cut prices, it's to boost demand.
It's a fair question. I would say Elon's been very consistent that everybody wants a Tesla, but not everybody can afford a Tesla. I agree 100%. Now, here's what's interesting about
That's what they said about Peloton.
This is not Peloton. Peloton, anybody can replicate a Peloton. I go to the gym every day, and I'm riding
obviously,
things.
I'm just making that point. We've seen this in corporate America.
It is extremely difficult to match what Tesla is offering. And even if you can, probably you will be charging a lot more for the same.
Okay, but here's my point on SNX. Okay, so SNX is less than 5% of their volume. It's at the high end. And when you got that cap, remember with the IRA cap, it went from a $55,000 cap to an $80,000 cap. That was back in early February. The Biden administration clarified it. Model Y suddenly became $7,500 cheaper than Model S and X. And that's where it's going to draw from. And so I think they're just trying to adjust their prices. Again, it's less than 5% of their volume for this year to get it right so that S and X can grow going forward.
Yeah, the Model S was super expensive. It's still really expensive, $90,000 basically. but it was close to 100,000. It was 95,000 before.
The second point is on Europe, and a lot of people are making a big deal of this, which I just find it crazy. Europe, they're putting a 6% discount on their inventory volume, which means it's just a first quarter adjustment. Europe's about 20% of Tesla volume. So I can't really look at that as a price cut so much as a quarter end discount to clear out excess inventory.
Although, to be fair, in December, Tesla did offer temporary discounts basically in the US, and then these discounts turned into permanent discounts. So I wouldn't rush to a conclusion yet, but clearly the inventory is coming down fast in Europe, although we do have delivery waves in Europe. There are lots of ships coming from China to Europe, so expect to see big spikes in inventory like this soon again.
A lot of people give me grief and they say, well, you're using 10 million units on Tesla. And my ex-colleague, Tony Sakanaki, as you know, is a longtime bear, who I have a lot of respect for, will say, hey, Corolla and RAV4 today are only selling 1.1 million units each, and they're the top selling products in America. How do you get 10 million units? And so I go back to this next-gen platform, which allows Tesla for the first time to go into the mass market. They'll have a compact car. They'll probably have a baby SUV. And if robotaxi becomes available, that would go in there. That's probably about 50% of it. And then Model Y is on its way to becoming the best-selling car in the world, probably next year. That'll probably be about 1.6 million. Cybertruck will probably be at about 1.5 million. You can add up by product. And again, Tesla didn't do that. But if you did that, you can get to 10 million units pretty easily.
I will be absolutely stunned if Tesla sells less than 10 million vehicles in the year of 2030. And I also just started a Patreon account, and this is the second video. Tesla could really surprise us here. The first video was, warning, do not get confused, some Tesla investors did. The sign-up link is down in the description and in the pinned comment below. My name is Matt Posius. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and these are 20 minutes of Elon explaining the Tesla stock buying opportunity. Thank you so much for watching.